All right, guys, we've been off the air for quite some time. Rocky got in a fight, and you see Rocky in the background at the door there with another big dog, a husky. And the husky got the hold of Joe's arm and tore him up pretty bad. You don't walk up here to the camera. It's getting better now. You can kind of see there, kind of flip the arm. Yeah. So he got tore up real bad, so we had to go through, he had to go through a lot of antibiotics and whatnot and cleaning of the arm, and we've been letting it try to heal. So he hadn't been working. This is the longest layoff we've had in
a long time?
Years. Two or maybe 3 years. So, and I knew this was going to happen. We've been waiting on a delivery for Rocky. But better happen now than later. All right, Rocky. Yes, that is yours. So trying to stock up with Rocky, because we're fixing to get back in the States and beat all you dudes up. And here we go. So I don't know how many he's gonna do. He's been, I guess it's been over a week since he's worked out, maybe 2. If I'm wrong on that, he can tell me when he gets up here. How long's it been since you worked out?
12 days.
12 days. So it's been a while. The guy was really good. You know, we didn't say or do nothing about his dog because Rocky and his dog were instigating it. They're both males. His name's Zeus. We pet Zeus every day, and he pets Rocky every day. So Zeus had all his shots, but we had to take a lot of precautionative measures. So Joe's been on a lot of medicine. Night before last, I come in here about 3 o'clock in the morning. I see that my wife's up. I hear the neighbors upstairs. They're up there drunk and raging alcoholics, Columbia style. And I lost my cool with it. I've told this guy over there a lot of things to tell him, get hold of yourself up in my neighborhood, acting like this. I'm the sheriff up and around here. Now, for those of you that don't know, we're in Colombia in South America, so there is no law. They got way more laws than we have in the U.S. or in Western Europe. However, nobody enforces any of the laws they have, so I tried to politely tell this guy, it's going to be like the movies, dum-dum. The cowboys and the Indians, and what always happens to the Indians. That's how it's going to work out for you. And, because I'm the sheriff up in this mofo. And thought he kind of had it, but turns out he didn't. Had the law out here, which I don't know why we even said anything. But I tried to take the high road. So that guy threatened me outside while he had 2 police officers between me and him.
Bad idea.
Bad idea, wasn't it, Joe? Bad idea. So this guy's been running around this neighborhood saying that he and his wife are upper echelon lawyers for the city of Bucaramanga. We're in a smaller city that's Florida Blanca, right outside of Bucaramanga. Bucaramanga is a very big city. It's a big city. Very powerful people down there. So he's running around talking all this mess, talking about how him and his wife is big lawyers up there. So I said, well, let me stroll down there and talk to Mr. Mayor of Bucaramanga. And right across the street is the state government seat. And, you know, if this jackass don't give me the satisfaction, I'll go across the street to the governor. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm quite the persuasive guy.
Oh. Rocky. That's Chloe.
There went the two that Rocky and Zeus got in a fight over. By the way, if you saw them across the street in the background, them two white blurs. But yeah, I can be very persuasive. And I've done things in Washington, D.C. and had things done that people were like, there's no way you're going to be able to do this. And I've went right up to D.C. and had things done that people would say are impossible. So anyway, Joe and I, we go down there and we're in City Hall and they tell us, well, go to this office. So we go to that office and I'm in there raising hell. You got a effing lawyer here that is a racist engine and I don't like it, and he threatened me. And I'm going to end up breaking this guy's face. So hang on into this story. I know I talk slow, but you're going to love the punchline here. It's one time where you get total satisfaction out of something when somebody harms you. Turns out this weirdo, raging alcoholic, and when I say that, I don't want to demean raging alcoholics, because I was one of you for 11 years. You know. But I kept my rage, my rage generally stopped about 10 o'clock at night. You know, I was a functioning rager. Thank God that was decades past. So anyway, we get up there and the guy, Joe shows a picture of the guy to this one guy, and he's like, I think I know this guy. Yeah. And so a guy's walking by the office. He hears English, so he works in another department. Big wig. So he comes in there. Oh, there's our Americans in here. I hear American English, you know. And so he comes in there and he's like, oh, I know this guy. And they're like, nobody likes this guy.
Yeah.
So the guy that speaks English, he said, excuse me for a minute. He leaves out the office. He said, I'll be back in a minute. So it turns out they got a full cafeteria in there for the city workers, you know. It's a big city, so there's a big full-line cafeteria in there for them. And visitors can go in there and eat lunch too. So anyway, he comes back down and he says, this dude's up there in the cafeteria. So the other guy, and it turns out the other guy is the assistant personnel director for the whole city. So he says, come on, let's go up there. Yeah, I know who this guy is now. And when I tell you what he does there, you're going to be shocked. It's ridiculous. He's not no bigwig lawyer, I'll tell you that. And his wife ain't his wife, it's his sister. All these lies, man, just crazy. So, anyways, I'm gonna try to wipe this camera. You're gonna have some distortion going on here for a second, but I'm gonna try to clear this lens up a little bit. Hope that helped a little bit. So we go up, and coming down the stairway is Mr. Big Time City Lawyer, City Attorney. He's coming down them steps, and me and Joe are walking with that Assistant Personnel Director up them. And he sees me and Joe. How big did his eyes get, son?
Huge.
Like a baseball, right?
Yeah, like a baseball. Like, you know.
He was shocked. And that guy said, that Assistant Director said, hold on a minute. So to tone down what was said there, the Assistant Personnel Director's jumping all over this dude. And we're talking back and forth, and I'm like, you a damn liar, you a damn liar. And he says, yeah, well, the one you're thinking of, it was my wife, which is the only one he lives with, is, and our next door neighbors, she's my sister. And then he starts telling the Assistant Personnel Director, they got confused, it's my sister. You know, and they're all raging alcoholics, and 4 or 5 men will go up there every night. So he starts saying that the 4 or 5 men are going up there to see is not really his wife, it's his sister. Crazy. So the guy, then he goes and says, my wife, my wife. So he catches himself, and they're all in there by this time, and everybody's stopping in the stairwell, which is right at the hallway, right at a big open hallway. And I ended it like this in front of the Assistant Personnel Director. And that was, I'll forgive you. We can let this go. Don't wake me up again. I've told you twice. Next time there won't be a strike. You strike out, it's going to be a problem. And I said, I guarantee you I'm going to put you in the hospital. This old man's going to do it. I said, my son's not going to touch you. I'm going to do it. And that personnel director is like shocked. Everybody's stopping in the hallway. You got all these, and I've worked with city and state and federal government myself, folks, so I know how it works. And you can spot who's who, and all these assistant directors and directors of departments by this time have all converged upon us, and they're sitting there in shock. And that assistant director said, you need to listen to this man. He is not lying to you. And Joe said, we'll come up in here and do it to you, and there'll be nothing anybody can do to help you. And nobody said a word. And that guy was like, you better listen, you better listen.
And he also said, keep poking this green
Yeah.
gold, you won't get a job with the government.
Oh, yeah, he jumped all over him. Yeah. So anyway, I told the guy, I said, look, I'll forgive you. And then he starts lying again. And I said, dude, just keep your mouth shut. Walk on back up them stairs. Or go do what you're going to do. And we're going to be out of here. And so he said, all right, I'm sorry. And so the assistant director said, well, you come back in the personnel department with me. So we go in there, and the damn director, the personnel director for this whole big city, we walk in there, and he's like, sir, tell me your problem. They've kind of filled me in while you out here talking to this guy. But can you tell me in your own words? And you know, this ain't gonna keep happening on our end. You know, this guy's gonna be gone. And just get to it. I'll get to what his job is. It's gonna shock you. How you feeling, son? You okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Heart's freezing a little.
Yeah. Well, it should. And so, and you know, guys, you go 3 weeks. If you're a boxer, and you stay in superb condition, you go 3 weeks without hitting a lick, you're totally out of shape. I don't care who you are. You're in shape for compared to other people in other sports, but you're totally out of shape for boxing, right? See? And all the greats have said that, and Joe can tell you that too. And Joe go, we went 3 or 4 days with him not doing nothing. And Joe be like, oh, just terribly. I'm like, in that short a time? And when you hit optimal level, and you're doing, you got the routine you're doing on what days you're doing what, and you veer off that 2 or 3 days, it'll wreck you. When you're at peak physical and psychological condition. So anyway, to get back to it, that idiot comes walking in there while the personnel director's standing in the outer office of his office department, and he walks up to the guy, the guy, the raging alcoholic, walks up to the personnel director and says, hey, you know me, we're friends, and starts bullshitting and saying that we woke him up in the middle of the night. And that's why he come down mad and threatened me in front of the cops. And I was like, motherfucker. Excuse my language, guys, but I was peeved. That personnel director looked over at him and said, I know of you, but I don't know you, and you ain't my friend. And he looks over at me and Joe and says, in Spanish, gentlemen, would you please come in my office so we can have a private discussion? And Joe says, yes, sir, to the guy. And him and the assistant personnel director and this guy from this other department comes in and sits down. But before we go back there, what'd he say?
He said, you, meaning his 2 workers,
and us.
And us come into his office. He was really nice to us,
Yeah.
but then he said, you come into my office as well. And then he said, everybody that don't belong here, get the hell out.
Meaning him.
Yeah.
He said, everybody else that don't belong here, get the hell out of my office. And so we went back there and we started talking. So we found out the guy, number one, the city of Bucaramanga, that man sat down and said, let me tell you, 1 floor up above me is the mayor's office. And he's up there right now. And he said, let me tell you, he's a good Christian man. And as far as we go, we stand with the United States. This administration is pro-American, without a doubt. And we don't care who likes it and who don't like it. And he also said they backed Israel too, which we're not big backers of them right now. But we're not haters either. But at any rate, he was like, we are Christians, and no, we're not Florida Blanca, we're not this, we're not that. So he told Joe, he said, son, when you get home, and Joe was telling him, hey, when I get back to the U.S., I might make if I don't turn professional, I'm going to make an Olympic run. And you'll be seeing me in the 2028 Olympics in L.A. And they're shocked. They act like normal human beings, and they're all complimenting. Oh my God, you're just 18 years old, and you're so huge, and and I mean, they're so impressed, and like normal human beings, not like these damn uncouth Indians around here and in most places. And they were actually rather sophisticated down there. And just really treating us real good. And the guy told Joe, he said, son, can you do me a favor over the weekend? Can you send me an email explaining what this guy's done? And he told us, he said, You can about do anything in Colombia and get away with it, but one thing you cannot do, and you cannot get away with, is impersonating government officials. And they said that's what he's did, that's what he's done. And he admitted that he done that. He said, but he did it by accident. He said, yeah, if I get scared or nervous, I tell people, you know, if I think somebody's going to hurt or harm me, I tell them me and my wife are lawyers down here. And the guy was like, there you go. See, he's using it. And,
I got a question.
yeah.
Did you say what his real job actually was?
I hadn't yet, but go ahead and tell the folks.
Apparently, he's a perfume salesman.
Yeah, he sells perfume. He's got a contract to be, I guess, the exclusive perfume salesman to women in City Hall. Now, you might say, well, that's a real small thing to do. And in comparison to being a big lawyer, city attorney, it is a little thing. However, that place is huge down there. It's like if they sign a little contract with you and say you can come sell hot dogs at City Hall in New York City, you know, Manhattan. You can make some money. So no doubt the guy's making a little bit of money, but the city attorney to being a perfume salesman, to having a little contract, to be able to go through City Hall and sell perfume.
Yeah, going around thinking you could bully people.
So that was a big satisfaction. We went to this man right in the middle of the road here. The cops that don't like us, because we don't like them, because they're always victim blaming. And I always tell them, get the F on out of my neighborhood. This is my neighborhood. And this is exactly what I tell these MFers. Joe, what do I say? 3 hots and a cot never killed me. I've done it before and I'll do it again. And I also tell them, be careful coming up to this door. Because here how this is going to work. If it's in my brain not to go with you, I know I won't be sleeping in my bed tonight, but at least 1 or 2 of you ain't going to be sleeping in your bed tonight either. And that's always a promise with me. And I make a stand, I'm going to make it. And that's anywhere I go. It could be in the U.S. It can be in Dallas, Texas, in the Bronx, in Charlotte, in L.A. I don't care. When we stand, we stand. And he's got the same, I brought him up to be the same. So anyway, it went from 4 o'clock in the morning, him standing out there acting like he's a big guy while he's got cops that hate us there, to, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then he said, look at me.
Yeah, he really.
He pointed himself at me. I'm damn near 100 years old. I often tell people been friends with 3 vampires and I've outlived them. And this guy's standing there, and I tell him, I say, let me tell you something, you're going to be in the hospital. There's no more chances for you. I promise you this thing. And we promised the guy over here the same thing. The damn guy's this big. And it wasn't, he's just fucking big.
A little taller.
A little, yeah, maybe a little taller than where I'm at. And Joe got a hold of him and whooped the shit out of him out there. Big old 220 or 30 pounder. But he didn't believe it till what'd you hit him with, a left? Straight left, or was it a right? Yeah, he hit him with a right hook, I think, or a right cross, and that guy was stumbling all over, and Joe didn't even have no, it was like Muhammad Ali's anchor punch on Sonny Liston. Joe hit that man was stumbling all over the damn park. Anyway, that's just how we operate. It's how we roll. It's how Columbia is. It's what road we're coming up off of, what exit we're coming out of. And so America, up there in North America, it ain't going to be nothing. In the boxing community, any community, you won't be able to bring anything on us we ain't experienced 1,000 times worse than you have. Whether you're in the streets of Baltimore, You out there in Compton, you up there in Chicago, Detroit, makes no difference. You ain't big and bad to us, and it's just what it is. And but went from that being big and bold to shrinking right in front of my face. And the thing was, Joe, didn't I tell him?
Yeah.
I said, in a few hours, you ain't gonna be talking like
You're
this,
gonna be
man.
regretting what you did.
And by 9 o'clock in the morning, he was a small fool down there where he works as a perfume salesman. So anyway, that was kind of
Yeah, he was pale. People were laughing at him. He was pale.
yeah,
And people were laughing at him.
yeah, oh yeah. This guy's like real dark complected. You know, he's Indian, and he was as white as my white ass.
Oh, before you say that, tell him what he did to his personnel. What do you call it? Director, and then the one assistant director. He said, because we mentioned he's drunk all the time, and he went like this to his face. I'm not.
Oh yeah. Here's what he does. He goes, I said, this man's drunk all the time. And he goes, I'm not drunk. And just blows vigorously in the assistant personnel director's face. And that guy got mad as hell. And he went in there and told that personnel director. Anyway, they're gonna like this guy's in serious, big time trouble for this place. It's amazing. You whoop somebody's ass right in the street in front of the cops, and nothing's gonna happen to you. And it took us a long time to really get acclimated to that, to be the cowboys that we are. But I mean, a long time. We went through hell with two 20-year-old twins, but we got their ass. They ended up out here in this park, and it got ended and smashed on them real quickly. That's how God works. That's how my God works. My Christ is King, and He'll make you available for the retribution. And vengeance is His. However, be careful with my King, because He may make you available to be retributed on from us if you hurt us. And same for us. We may be retributed and available to you, if we're hurting you or anything. So anyway, that was an interesting story. So I seen Joe's mama sitting up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was. And that's when I cracked. I said, they can do something to us. They mess with Joe's mama, my wife, or mess with Rocky. This thing goes to different planes of existence. And then it gets very bad. And then they're sitting in there, all these professional guys, very educated for here. And they're saying something that makes 100% sense. They're looking at me and Joe, and they're going, I can't believe somebody would be so ignorant, so backwards, and so low IQ, even in our country, that they would be messing with you two guys, because you've already beat the person up psychologically in your head before you throw a strike. He's like, this thing's done. It's already finished, and you've made it so in your head before the actions are performed. And they're like, how could this idiot not figure that out, And they were like, he's sick, They were calling him.
Were saying he needed to be in a psychiatric.
Yeah, psychiatric. They said he was a habitual liar. He's always running through there talking about all these things he's got and all of this. And I said, well, he ain't got too much, because he was banging on the door the other morning for his wife, which is his sister in his own brain, wouldn't let him in the house. And I went out there and told him to get the hell out of there. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, well, lend me, it'd be the equivalence of like $50 in the U.S. so he could get a ride over across town to his mama's house. And I was telling them that there. I said, yeah, boy, he's stacked. He can't even coming in drunk at night and can't even afford a taxi to get his ass across town. So Where are you at, Joe? What you got? Did you number
We got
anything?
100 each.
You want to stop there? You want to keep going a little bit?
I'll stop for today.
All right. So he's going to stop there. It's a little bitty baby workout. He got 100 of each thing. So we thought we'd put a video out and give you that little account and story. So we'll be out of here. Moving truck hopefully is going to come Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. It's Saturday today, right? And we'll be getting up to Bogota to finalize papers. We both got to get new passports, and we'll be heading back to the U.S. To a city near you. So we love you guys. Be positive and do the best you can. Remember, up in here, in all our imperfectness, Christ is King, Lord, and Savior, and we hope He is up in where you are.